Okay, Kamari, this is a quick lesson on what we were doing in math today. Lots of people are having some trouble with it, having trouble understanding it, but we're just getting started on it. So if it's a little tough and confusing to start with, that's okay. We'll work on it. So we're talking about equivalent fractions. If you remember, hopefully you remember from other lessons, equivalent fractions are fractions that show the same part of a whole. So for example, over here, this shows 2/3, right? And then this one shows 4/6. And what you can see is that they both show the same part of the shape colored in. The part that's colored kind of light purple here. In this one, it's 2/3, right? 1, 2, 3 parts, 2 of them colored, that's 2/3. In this one, it's 4/6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts, and 4 of them shaded in. So this is 2/3 and 4/6. You could see that they both are the same amount, they're the same size. And so that tells us that 4/6 and or 2/3 and 4/6 are equivalent. They're the same amount, right? And I don't know why we don't just use the word equal, but for fractions we use the word equivalent. Now what we're trying to show today is a connection between multiplication and equivalent fractions. Is if you look, 2 times 2 equals 4, right? And 3 times 2 equals 6. So 2 times 4 equals 4, 3 times 2 equals 6. If we multiplied the numerator 2 and the denominator 3 both by the same number, we get 4/6, which is an equivalent fraction, right? We can see by the picture that 2/3 and 4/6 are equivalent. Let's look at this one down here. We got 3/5 right here, and we got 6/10. And once again, we can see that these two light purpley areas, they're the same, right? Here we've got 3/5, and here we got 6/10. So we can see that 3/5 and 6/10 are equivalent. They show the same amount. We'll look at this over here. We got this equivalent fraction 6/10. And we notice that if we take the numerator 3 and multiply it by 2, we get 6. We take the denominator 5 and multiply it by 2, we get 10. So I want you to pick up on what's going on here. See if you can make the connection. Let's look at this last one. We got 1/3 and we got 4/12. Once again, we can see by the picture that 1/3 and 4/12, they're the same size. They're the same amount. Okay, so 1/3 is equivalent to 4/12, but let's take a look. 1 times 4 is 4. 3 times 4 is 12, right? See if you can pick up on what happened every time here. If you see it, or if you hadn't noticed it, I'll just tell you, look, you multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, and you get an equivalent fraction. Same thing here. You multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, and you'll get an equivalent fraction, all right? So it could be any number. Like if you, let's do 3/5 again. And let's say we multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 3, okay? Times 3 times 3. Well, then you get 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 3 is 15. You get 9/15. So we can say that 9/15 is also equivalent to 3/5. So the point we're trying to make here, anytime you take a fraction and multiply the numerator and the denominator both by the same number, you'll get an equivalent fraction. All right, so let's look at this next page here. So for example, these directions here are asking us to write 2 equivalent fractions. So they want 2 fractions that are equivalent to 4/5. Well, so we can just choose a number, just any number we want. I'll choose 2. The key is you got to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by that same number. So here's 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. So we've got 8/10. That's an equivalent fraction to 4/5. Let's choose another number. Let's just do 3. So we got to multiply both numerator and the denominator by the same number. In this case, 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. So we got 12/15, which is also equivalent to 4/5. So we've created two fractions that are equivalent to 4/5, 8/10 and 12/15. So the point we're making here, Kamari, is that any fraction, if you just multiply the numerator, the number on top, and the denominator, the number on bottom, by the same number, you'll create a new fraction that's equivalent to this fraction, all right? So I want you to take a shot at doing this one. Again, all you have to do is choose the number. You've got 2/4. You're going to make two fractions that are equivalent to 2/4. And all you got to do is choose a number to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by. All right. And then this down here, it's the same as these up here, but you just don't have all the things written out. You're doing this in your head. So it says write two equivalent fractions to 3/6. Well, just use your head mentally. What's a number you can multiply them both by? I'll multiply them both by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 times 3 is 18. And then we can multiply them both by 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 6 times 4 is 24. We got 12/24. So we just created two fractions that are equivalent to 3/6, 9/18 and 12/24. So the bottom line, all you have to do is take the fraction and multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. And you're going to create a new fraction that's equivalent to the one that you started with. All right. So do your best on this. Take a shot. If it's just too confusing, I get it. We'll keep working on it. I know in a couple weeks we're going to be back in school. I think your mom chose to have you come back, which would be really helpful. So, but just do your best on this. Take your best shot. Don't worry about doing this down here. Okay? Don't bother with that. So don't worry about this page or this page or this page. This page we looked at together, right? So try this page. Do your best on it. See what you can do. All right? Remember, the key to making an equivalent fraction, all you got to do is multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, and you'll come up with the equivalent fraction. All right? Take a shot at it. Hopefully it makes sense. Otherwise, we'll keep working on it. Don't worry.